Hello and welcome into another edition of the Big O Show with Orestes Destrade. What's up, Bubba?
Great, man. Great show you just had. I mean, a lot of involvement by your peeps, your JP followers, the Petermans.
The Petermans, as we like to call them.
I love that. I love that name, the Petermans. Obviously talking about Miguel Evans, Mikey Evans' departure, and a lot of people it's very ugly. It's very ugly between upset at Mike, upset at the organization. So
a lot of that going on.
But
leaving's never easy, is it?
Leaving's never easy. I did that with the Cebu Lions, and it wasn't easy, but it was a decision I made after 4 wonderful years and 3 championships in a row. But that was a different one because it brought in, it was tied to expansion. It was tied to the first MLB team in the state of Florida. It was tied to the Florida Marlins.
Coming home.
Playing
for your hometown team.
And
that was a no-brainer.
It was not a no-brainer. It wasn't. It was a very difficult decision. Yeah. Because here I was, not only a superstar in Japan, but really enjoying the team that I've been with for 4 years, just like a family. And still a family, that I've stayed connected with them. In fact, they not only, put me in their Ring of Honor and their Hall of Fame, but, I was always still am connected with them as an ambassador of the team, was a special advisor for them recently. So it was a tough decision. But the thing about it was, and by the way, financially, they offered me a 2-year, $6 million deal. I took a 2-year, $4.5 million deal to come to the Florida Marlins. So
less money to come home.
Yeah, I mean, still, listen, when you start talking about that and you're talking in the millions, I don't lose sight of what was me. But I loved it there. What was the deciding factor was 2: coming back home, playing in front of my parents and family, and ushering in the era of MLB into the state of Florida as their first Cuban-born American, and it was too much to pass up. But leaving is hard, and I'm sure Mike Evans had a tough time. He from all that inclinations, you dealt with him a lot. He was a guy that thoroughly enjoyed the community here and his fans. So this was not Antonio Brown or some type of wide receiver like that. No. This is a guy that made an executive decision, and it wasn't easy. We see it a lot in baseball too when guys have jumped. You just had Bo Bichette. I'm sure they were offering him a whole heck of a lot to stay in Toronto, but he got offered.
Some guys just want a new setting.
Sometimes.
I think for Mike, that was it, and he clearly saw an opportunity that looked way better than what he thinks the Bucs are right now.
Yeah,
that's the conundrum. It's like, is this the Bucs' fault because they didn't fire Todd Bowles and it doesn't look like they have a sense of urgency to winning?
A lot of that was that.
I think he got pissed off.
I think that move alone, by not replacing a head coach, whatever good relationship. I don't think he had a bad relationship with Todd Bowles.
Everybody loves Todd.
Everybody loves Todd. How can you not? Right? He's a wonderful human being.
But if you want to win,
but the demise of being 6-2 and then just completely dropping off the side of a mountain, you're expecting the organization to make a move when they didn't. I think that was the catalyst.
I agree.
And
totally agree.
And it happens
Look
quite
at you
often.
read the room football.
No,
too.
But it happens. I was going to kind of segue into, even the world of baseball and in sports, in general. When heck, you could take it all the way into the business level of when a CEO and a company's not performing, you just can't give that guy a raise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
look at the Rays. How many of fan favorites have left?
A myriad, and you just start thinking, okay, are they headed in the right direction or not? You know what I mean? We really went through that demise in the teens, in the 2000 teens.
After the World Series team,
after the World Series team of 2008 and going into that, that next decade, all of a sudden, Shields, Price,
Longo
a little later, but still the core of Ben Zobrist. The loss of Ben Zobrist was so painful to this area.
Yeah,
it was
another guy that wanted to stay. They all wanted to stay.
All of them wanted to stay. So
but the organization
you can't say
wasn't doing
that
it.
all of them had to go.
No.
Keep one or two, and the only guy that they had kept was Longo. Carl Crawford, probably the greatest. I put him arguably above, Evan Longoria as far as the greatest all-around player ever to play for the Rays. So when you get into that and you mix into the play on the field, the numbers on the backs that people are wearing in and around Tampa Bay, and then the community type stuff, it's impactful. So it hurts. That's why what we're looking at right now with Hillsborough College and the future of the Rays,
right? So important.
It's so important because
you want to keep your Mike Evans, you want to keep your James Shields, you want to keep you want to keep Junior Caminero.
Yeah.
You better email your city councilman and county commissioner right now, especially Joshua Wostall, who is adamantly against this, and say, you're wrong.
Yeah.
This is a treasure that we want to keep here. And if you don't see the connection in it, these guys know what the Braves figured out, and even the Mets figured out, and everybody's figured out that baseball revenue alone will not keep you in the game. You got to go out and make other money outside baseball with your mixed use project, and then put that money back into the team. That's what the Braves have done. That's what the Rays want to do,
and benefits the community.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the other catalyst to this thing, and I've been talking about the legacy program of what this is. It's not just to enrich the team, both ownership and on the field. The field part, that's great. You can win championships. You can have greater seasons. So much memories. I mean, you and I, in between shows, we're just talking about the memories of 162 and some other. You just had, the great
Rondé Barber.
No, Phillips. Junior.
Brett Phillips. Yeah,
Brett Phillips telling the story of the 2020 great walk-off hit and what an incredible story that was. Memories, but beyond that, it has to also, ingratiate the community,
right,
and give back that that tax money in droves and in multiples.
I'll use the Bucks as an example, and I mean, think of the great memories that we have of Rondé Barber in Philadelphia and winning a Super Bowl and what that has done. The first stadium referendum, and actually went before the voters, was the sits to build Raymond James Stadium,
right,
and it passed by 1%, and that was the greatest investment ever. That thing was less than $200 million.
Right.
We kept our NFL team that would have gone to Orlando or some other place.
Wow.
And if we'd have lost that NFL, we'd have lost the Bucks in the late 90s. Think where the city would be. And now you're facing the same situation. I'm going to tell you, if this does not pass,
it's going to be tricky.
I don't think the Rays will be here long term. I really don't, because every other city in America is going to come after them.
Well,
this deal, there are 20 cities that would line up for this deal that is Tampa's right now. And if we don't do it, they're going someplace else. Now, and for some people, that's okay. They don't care. I think for the most of us, we cherish those memories of Buccaneers, and that $200 million was the best $200 million we've ever spent. And now I know the price tag is $2 billion now, and I get it. To the public, it's $1 billion.
It's $500 million.
Yeah, but it's
a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but it's all it's all relative
to what comes back. And
is it worth having a Major League Baseball?
And you bring up the fandom wanting it and reading the room and seeing it. I think the smart constituent of Tampa Bay logically reads it and goes like, I don't even go to the games, but this makes sense.
Yeah.
Because this is
when they understand
it,
right?
That the numbers make sense, and in the the longevity and the amortized scenario of this, holy cow, this makes sense. It's going to create more jobs. It's going to bring more people in here positively. They're going to create the infrastructure, and all of a sudden the money's going to come back to this community,
right, in terms of the tax money, user fees,
the user fees, basically. So when you look at this beyond being a sports fan, I think it needs to be looked at properly. And
a lot of people see it like, oh, we have so many other needs and all these things. That is true. Well, if this can generate $6 billion in tax money over 30 years, like they say it will, and I don't believe all the numbers until we get a couple more.
Yeah.
But even if it was $3 billion,
right,
and that's more money we can spend on those things that you want to spend. 100%. That's exactly what's happened
over that period of time.
That's exactly what's happened in the Battery in Atlanta.
Yeah.
They're filling their coffers now for things that, 4 Cobb County schools, 4 other things in the state of Georgia that are making tons of money a year off the battery. So if you're worried about having money for those things, then this is actually a great investment for the city and the county when you look at it from that perspective. You have to put in public money up front, yes, to help get it done, but over a 30-year period, it brings it back 3, 4, 5.
I'm going to bring you a question because you're so close to this in so many ways, even though you're still a, objective reporter, if you will, and you still need to see the math, right?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
everybody else. So you're not just blatantly talking out
there.
There
are 2 studies that have been done so far. They both look really good in terms of the public return, and we need to see more.
Yeah. So, but here's the question. Hypothetically, and you brought up a very interesting, simulation or hypothetical. If this doesn't get done, your feeling is that they have to look elsewhere, or does it circle back to over the bridge?
No, it doesn't work over there. It just doesn't work over there. I'm
just throwing it out there because obviously the layperson will look at it and go,
oh, I understand.
Big plot of land here. This seems like it makes sense, but the numbers have to be right. Oh, by the way, over the bridge over there at the gas plant, there's a big plot of land over there. They're going to do a development with or without the Rays. We already know that. Yeah. Maybe a soccer stadium. Who knows? And maybe the Rays are talking to them as we speak about, hey, we want to jump into your deal because, we own the Rowdies, and that would be kind of cool. But do you think that if this gets stagnant for real, that's not an option? It's the option is more.
I don't want to say never.
Back.
I don't want to say never, but the problem is if you're going to put in $8 to $10 billion into mixed use, right? Mm-hmm. And your numbers are based on 10 million people visiting that area.
Well, I mean, you would have to readdress the numbers for that area.
Right. So, okay, say it's half of that. Okay. But you still need the visitors. So you still need 7. I'm trying to think of how it would ratio out. Maybe 7 million people would come to the Tropicana field site. Is that enough to support the yearly money coming back in taxes? I don't know. And I don't know if it would be 7 million because of the location. The location kills you. You can't, if you're building a theme park, which is basically what this is in terms of cost, where do you build it? You build it in Orlando because that's where 70 million people come a year to go to Disney. That's why Universal built there.
Sure.
That's the location because the people that come to Disney are going to come to Universal. It's like McDonald's. This was an old business trick. If you wanted to know where the best location for your business was, you didn't have to suck $1 million into a feasibility study. McDonald's already did that for you.
Right.
So just build
that's a popular area.
So it's location. This size and scope doesn't really work there because you can't get that many people over there to constantly
traffic wise.
Traffic wise. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that's
not
why,
even just traffic wise, just the amount
and for
of
the
people.
baseball stadium. For the attendance numbers for the baseball stadium. It's always going to be a struggle because it's surrounded by water. So now do you
use the water, to your advantage as far as on the other side where you're 10 minutes away from the beach? But it's not going to tie into the actual development. I think the attraction part.
Yeah, I just think that ship has sailed for Major League Baseball.
I think it has too. I'm just saying that we're hitting a very critical time here coming up with this vote,
and this is why
they need to get it out there.
The people need to get out and email. I put this out on my Twitter yesterday. The email addresses for all the city council people, and I did misspell one of them, so it's not Naya, it's Maya, Maya, one of the council persons. So I'll redo it each and every day.
That's
so we get it right,
because they're not, the constituents aren't voting, but you are the constituents, and you by God, do you affect your city council members? 1 or 2 emails, you'd be shocked in how much that makes. And then we're going to go to the phone call thing. Because they're hoping to get a vote by April 1st, which I think is probably not doable. Tricky.
And there's news out today that the sits tax is going to, whether it can or cannot be used for building the stadium, is very much under debate. Mm-hmm. And if the people want it to be, make your voice known.
Right.
Make your voice known. If you want this money to be used and you feel this is an asset that is important for you, and you want to be able to bring your children and have a Major League Baseball team, which I think is very important for our quality of living here in Tampa Bay.
Yes, overall quality of living.
And then make your voice known, you know. And frankly, if you disagree with it, you know, make your voice known.
Yeah, that's part of our system.
I think you're short-sighted, but
you know, you got to study this.
Yeah.
But a lot still to become, and some more numbers need to be shared and figured out.
But I want to say that this is a process that may go on longer. And I still think that there's too many interested parties that are very powerful. The commissioner wants it here. The governor wants it here.
Yeah.
The mayors want it here. The current mayor and the future mayor, and Bob Buckhorn, who we've had on here. My opinion, he'll be the future mayor, and everybody else's opinion.
Pretty much.
So all the people, you know, obviously the owners have picked this spot. Everything works out. Like, everything really comes together. So I just think they're going to find a way to find.
I believe they will too. I strongly believe that they're going to get it done.
But we should step up as a community and put in $1 billion here. I think the deal looks great from where it looks at right now. I think the deal looks great, but we need more numbers.
Yeah, especially again, go back to if the numbers pan out properly, you have to, as a constituent of this community and a caring member of this community, you have to look at the objective numbers that this is an organization that is, you know, transparently saying, we'll step up along with you and probably beyond you. You know what I mean? So you're not talking about, you know, the Ybor City one back in 18 and 19, where it's like, we can only go to $150 million. That's
150.
Yeah, that's all.
That's all he was ever going to put in.
That's it.
Yeah, these people are putting into 8 to 10 billion in the total.
Well, let's just talk about the stadium.
The stadium, and all it's 50% at minimum.
1.15
plus operating costs,
all that stuff,
plus maintenance, plus cost overruns. None of that goes to the city or the county.
Right.
They're going to take all of it.
So you know, I think all of that needs to be, you know, looked into as a constituent of this county to go, okay, we're not giving them a cookie. You know what I mean? They're in it.
I mean, it's serious money that they're getting, but it's serious money that they're returning.
Exactly.
And it's only this particular. I don't think there's other markets that are as good as this, because this real estate market is booming and still is, while others might be pulling back. This one is still booming. And that's a huge part of it, because you're going to be selling condos. Yeah. You're going to be in luxury condos, which are red hot in Tampa Bay right now. And the timing is now. You got to do it now, or the opportunity will go away.
It's almost like what you said the other day, might have been yesterday. I can't remember listening to you. And you said, Junior Cabanero is not getting any cheaper.
No, he's not. He's not.
This isn't getting any. This is going to get done.
And construction costs aren't getting any cheaper. And everything's aren't getting, you know, the market is still good. So all these numbers work now. We don't know if they're going to, you know, where it's going to go. And we don't know if we say no, who's coming in here. Yeah. Because I guarantee you they're going to get a better offer someplace else.
Yeah, buddy.
And this is where they want to be, and they don't want to go anywhere else. This is Tampa's deal. Yeah. But if we say no, they're going to Orlando, they're going to Nashville, they're going somewhere else.
They're definitely going to look.
MLB,
no doubt.
I think MLB they want this market. They really feel. But if we don't step up in this particular time, I think they're going to throw their hands up and say, screw it. We've got so many other cities out there that want it. I guess Tampa Bay just doesn't, and we're done with this, and we're moving on after they're done in Tropicana Field. And that's going to suck.
That can't happen. That can't happen. That can't happen, but it could happen. But
if people like Joshua Wostall get their way,
but you're right. You're right about MLB kind of getting to the point, and they do get involved.
Sure.
Any way you look at it, they got involved with Stuart Sternberg, and I believe very wholeheartedly as well.
You ask the Kansas City Chiefs fans, about that.
Yeah. This is the Kansas City freaking Chiefs.
F around and find out.
Right. We jumped. We jumped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Yeah.
And I know that you know I think it's 30 miles. I'm not sure.
It's a different scenario because football is a much different animal, but
it's a once a week.
It's a once a week thing.
10 times a year instead of 81.
But that municipality lost a lot.
That's right.
Yeah.
So be careful what you
they may not be reelected the next time around. Those guys.
Yeah. All right, let's talk some baseball here, and let's zero in on the WBC. So, do we want to talk about the Mark DeRosa thing first and foremost?
I'm having a tough time with this because
Senor De Rosa
with Mark, man, who's a wonderful guy, but there's no doubt that there was definitely not a misspoke scenario.
Well, that's a lot of people don't know what happened. So let me, if I may, just set this up. So going into the game against Italy, De Rosa came out and said on the air that they were through to the next round, that they were already through. And he said we're into the next round, with all due respect to Italy, but we don't, and then he managed the game like he didn't have to win it.
Yeah. And also mentioned that they celebrated wholeheartedly and
he told the players we're in.
Yeah.
We advanced.
And some of our guys, literally said the comment, some of our guys are kind of struggling coming into the clubhouse today.
Because we were celebrating the win over Mexico.
But they celebrated the win over Mexico. And the thought on his part was that they were already in.
Yeah. Complete blunder.
Huge blunder.
They lose to Italy because he manages it like it doesn't matter. Then he comes out and says, "Oh, I knew I misspoke." And then he doubles down again.
And he doubles down again and says that, "No, I knew that we this was an important game. You didn't manage it like it was an important game. You didn't start Terang, a stud left-handed hitter against a right-handed starting pitcher. You didn't start Harper, stud left-handed hitter against a right-handed pitcher. You started Goldsmith. You used different, pitching rotation. And the players seemed, lackluster. They went down early, 8-0. Couple of key errors made that cost them runs.
Yeah, because they were hungover.
You didn't pinch run for Goldschmidt, who barely makes it to third on a ball off a wall. Should have scored. A bunch of things. Even though I think a 3-run jack came after that, and he ended up scoring. But what's really kind of kooky is that then when he comes down and doubles down on, I just misspoke. I knew what was going on. We knew the importance of this game. It's hard for me to believe that. I'm gonna be honest. It's hard for me to believe that. He made another faux pas, which anybody makes, man. I've made a thousands of them. Right. When you're on air that many times and that often, as you and I are, you're gonna mess a name up, you're gonna mess some stats up, etc. You can't be perfect. But he did say in this scenario after a blunder, because we went in, against Italy 2-0 and they were 2-0. Now they were both 3-0. So so again, I think he's a little bit flustered by the mistake. What really kind of like flusters me is that nobody else noticed this. Like not only your own players. Listen, as a former player, I remember being in the playoffs and being in, major games, especially 3 championship, back to back to back. I was like this, man. I was blinders. Just show me where to go. And
you have blind faith.
You had blind faith.
That's
Today
their job.
We're facing this guy, and then I knew and trusted on my staff, my manager and my assistants, the coaches, statisticians. Here's the information. Go like a rabid dog. I think that's what the USA players were working off of.
Yeah.
So not only is it on De Rosa, I kind of put it more on the coaching staff, but also where are the statisticians and the guys that are like the brainiacs?
Well, they're kind of the nerds, right? And they're probably sitting there going, excuse me. Yeah.
We're not. And maybe that's what's in the 6th inning.
Probably scared
in the 6th inning when they probably went like, Coach, we need to win this game.
These rules are a little
ambiguous. It's kooky.
It's kooky. So we do need Travel Ball Dad, with that guy that always comes up and tells everybody what's,
we
who's the most annoying
Saturday,
person
we'll
in the world.
Play again at 3:00, and then we'll play at 6:00. But if we lose, we only play at 4:00, and then we have a 2:00 game on Sunday.
We got it, Joe. We got it. All right, we got it. But we needed that guy.
We needed that guy
in the dugout.
We need Travel Joe. They needed Travel. Not anymore. Now it's one and done.
Get the hell out of here.
But I do got one thing to say now that I want to throw it out there in the airwaves because I'm trying to study it and I can't understand it. So in any of these bracket tournaments, right, one always gets either a bye, but we're not in a bye situation. Right. One always plays the lesser team. Right.
One plays 2.
Right.
And from the other pool.
I can't get it. So USA is matched up against Team Canada. They're both 3-1, and they're both the second rung of their pools. So
here's what it might be, because in the USA one, it was a 3-way tie. So even though Italy beat the U.S., the U.S. still may be the number 1 seed coming out.
It wasn't a 3-way tie. Italy went undefeated.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
No,
you're right.
that's
right.
where I'm.
That's right, because Italy won the game. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
If there was a 3-way tie, USA might have had. It's like if Mexico had won and not won by more than 5 runs. Yeah, Mexico would have advanced, but USA would have trumped Mexico because they beat Mexico. You follow what I'm saying?
Right. No, because it was
Italy's
going to be
the 1.
A 3-way.
US is the 2, but they're playing a 2. Puerto Rico is playing Italy 4-0 and 4-0.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't. I still am trying to figure it out. If anybody can figure it out, please. It
sounds like it's ESPN, or in this case MLB, making it up because they want a better matchup with the dream.
Well, listen,
the
USA
dream
Canada is a dream
storyline
because of just 2 weeks ago we had hockey, so it's a dream matchup. Who's not going to be watching tonight? Right. But you have
Jack Hughes, the hero of our hockey team, has already sent text messages or a note to the baseball guys.
I believe they're sending them hockey jerseys,
That's fantastic.
to wear, which is super cool.
Yeah.
Right. But you've got USA versus Canada, both 3-1, both 2 seeds. You got DR rightfully playing Korea. Korea was 2-2, they were in a 3-way tie and they snuck in by run deal. And so DR at 4-0 gets Korea 2-2. You've got Japan 4-0 against Venezuela, who got beat out by Dominican Republic. And so they finished in that second running in their pool. So you've got a number 2 facing a number 1, number 2 facing a number 1. Then you got 2 number 1s.
And 2 number 2s.
And 2 number 2s.
I'll get it.
And by the way, Italy's damn good. So you're getting in a situation where, it feels like actually a better draw for US to play Canada. As far as on paper,
it worked out. Okay,
we'll see. Yeah. We'll see, because
that's what DeRosa was trying to do, to get the easiest draw. It's crazy like a fox.
He was wanting. It was all a media draw. It was a media draw for this kind of challenge.
It all adds up to a very interesting and great storyline. Although you and I both were like, Joe Madden should have had Joe Madden. We're just not DeRosa fans.
Timmy Ham brought it up on your show, which is a great question about how do they pick the manager for this thing. And Mark DeRosa, who drove Team USA 2023 in WBC to an inch of tying and hopefully winning that game, that 1-run game to show he struck out Trout on. I was at that game, and it was an incredible, exciting, well played game, but they didn't do it. How did they get Mark DeRosa?
He's never managed before.
No, he's never managed. Really smart baseball guy. In fact, the type of player that he was leads people to believe that he would be a great manager because he was that.
But he's never done it.
He's that Ben Zobrist type of player. He could play everywhere first.
It doesn't feel like that's our best that we could put out there. When you have a guy like Joe Madden who's won a World Series and knows all of these players and has great relationships with everybody.
You also had around who was the ambassador of the WBC this year.
Who's that?
Ken Griffey Jr.
But he's never managed.
He's never managed either. But if you're going to tell me,
I'll take him over DeRosa.
Ken Griffey Jr. Because
and he'll get great pictures.
And a lot of that is how well does your manager get along with all the players? I'm not saying that DeRosa doesn't get along with all those players, but you know what I mean. You've got Dominican Republic has Albert Pujols, Benji Molina,
who by the way Joe managed.
Yeah.
So I mean, next time let's just go with someone who's done this before.
Maybe we'll see. The jury's still out. Still a phenomenal tournament.
Yep.
Beyond the top 4 teams, of USA, Japan, Dominican Republic, and slide in there probably Venezuela is the top 4, maybe Puerto Rico. All the games have been entertaining, exciting, dramatic. Great finishes, great defense. By the way, it just says a lot to this year more than even in 23 and 17 and 13. This is the 5th installment in 20 years. It says that everybody's all in. And you're truly getting World Cup soccer level of play. By that, I mean that Dominican Republic had a really bad showing in 2023, right? So they stepped up and they just stacked their roster.
Beefed.
Everybody's in, right?
U.S. is
beefed up with everybody in Puerto Rico. So that's great for the tournament. I will say that it's an interesting thing. We talked about it on your show when I came in towards the end. What's the ramifications of this? If I go back to 23, it was, a year where you had kind of two wild cards, you had two wild cards make it to the World Series, with the Texas Rangers winning that championship over the little engine that could, and Arizona Diamondbacks, who only won 84 games but snuck in as a wild card from the West. Looking at those rosters, not that many players were played in the WBC that year, so it's going to be interesting. You just got to follow it a little bit and see if it affects the dichotomy of spring training and the flow of spring training. It definitely challenges it. You can't, they're getting their ups. Certain pitchers are getting their pitching, but it's still not the same. I'm not saying that you do away with it because of that. I'm saying that it does. We just experienced it with 20 days in the Olympics for the NHL.
Right.
But what else are you going to do? You MLB can't play it in any other time. You can't all-star mid-season.
Nah, it would never work.
Never work. Very dangerous.
Yeah, guy getting hurt, just derailing
in the middle of the season.
Yeah. Can't recover from it.
And then the only other time is right after the week after the World Series.
And we saw what a 20-day break did to the Tampa Bay Lightning
and to other teams.
It could totally change the seasons.
It does. And even though they were playing hockey, regularly, and practicing regularly, it's just
this is where it needs to be. It's perfect.
It needs to be there. And but it is interesting. I'm going to follow, we all are going to follow, especially April, May, and see if there's any ramifications to certain teams that had a lot of the players in this WBC. But as far as exciting, holy cow. Oh, by the way, just a little caveat. Our boy Shohei Ohtani, the greatest player of all time, who is not pitching in the WBC. They opted, agreed with the Dodgers, like, let's not have you pitch. But he is expected to have a workload this year. Be a frontline pitcher for the Dodgers, probably looking at 140 150 innings. He did throw a 4-inning simulated game against Team Japan and struck out 7, 59 pitches, just dominated his own all-star team. So this guy's at another level.
So he's starting to pitch.
He has to.
So
he's trying to get
tie
himself.
Game, USA, Japan.
Oh, Nelly.
Bottom of the ninth.
Only a 3-2
Japan. My ass, he don't come out of the bullpen.
He's coming out. He's coming. You know what? You're absolutely right.
How cool would that be?
He's coming out of the bullpen.
Of course he is.
Yeah, he's coming out.
It'd be like, sorry, Andrew Friedman.
Yeah.
But
I'm pitching.
Country before.
He can't call down there and go like, no, I see he's warming up.
You said he wasn't going to pitch.
Sit him down.
What's the Japanese expression for shove it up your ass?
Ego wakaranai. Zenzen. I don't know. That is guy. The guy just said, that's the manager going, I don't speak English. Who is this?
Sorry, I'm busy.
ちょっとまだまだね。ありがとう。じゃあね。Johnny's like, see ya.
I don't even speak Japanese, but I know what you just said.
That conversation.
Go F yourself. We got something to win here.
Andrew's going nuts.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be dramatic?
Could very much happen. So obviously this whole thing has been set up for either one of two finals, right? USA against Japan, the rematch, or USA against Dominican Republic. And
I can't wait.
Yeah, that could be huge. But it starts tonight, by the way. Tonight,
USA Canada, 8 o'clock.
Canada.
Is there an earlier game? What's the earlier game?
There's DR against Korea. So
what time is that? 3 o'clock?
No, that one's it's right before. It's right before. So that one is at I'll tell you right now.
Gotta watch that one.
Yeah, listen, all of them
are gonna be great.
Are outstanding, man. So let's see. We got Korea, Dominican Republic at 6:30, and then on the heels of that, you've got USA, Canada. So,
all right, beautiful, fun stuff. All right, at this particular moment, we always love to thank our great sponsors, Texas Roadhouse, Wesley Chapel. If you're looking for a great steak dinner at a reasonable price and you want great service, hand-cut steaks, a place that absolutely cares about the product and the service, which is rare these days, it's Texas Roadhouse, Wesley Chapel. Am I lying?
You're not lying.
No,
great service. great prices. I always say comfortable food at a comfortable price. So,
Could go for a ribeye right now with a loaded baked potato
and a beer.
I know
you've been you're hitting that springtime.
Go watch some baseball and eat a steak.
Nice cold.
They got a great bar there, by the way, to watch baseball.
Yeah, no doubt.
So go Texas Roadhouse, Wesley Chapel, absolutely fabulous place. Thank you for your sponsorship. Kingmakers, which we're coming to you from right now, a private club here in Midtown Tampa, a shared office place where you can live, work, and play. We got a golf simulator, a sports bar. We got conference rooms, private office areas, everything. And, of course, a studio that we're in right now that you could use as well. If you want to do a podcast, that's Kingmakers Tampa. And Genesis of Tampa, which is part of the Murphy Auto Group. Big month in March. Wear green, buy green, save green.
That's right.
We'll have $500 off if you wear something green to the dealership this weekend. $1,000 off if you buy something green. And I think if you combine the two, Lord knows what you're going to get.
You're going to get a lot of green.
You're going to get a pot of gold. What you're going to get.
Oh, and you get to go to Dublin.
We're giving away a trip to Ireland as well. Oh, my lordy.
You do that
Only something great going on. Everything's a question when you're speaking an Irish accent, Yes, it is.
Imagine, wouldn't you love to play around in Dublin, Ireland, or anywhere?
I've played.
Oh, you did go?
Oh, I've played Ireland.
I didn't know you did Ireland.
Multiple times, yes.
Oh.
It's fantastic.
Geesh.
Best golf in the world, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, you play these incredible courses during the day.
Right.
The great seaside and undulations and the heather and all the crap.
Oh, so you've been.
And then at night you go to the pubs and listen to the music. And
Guinness.
Oh, Lordy.
Is the Guinness different over there?
Oh, yes. It's mother's milk is what they call it.
Mother's milk.
Like mother's milk. Right from the teat.
Holy shit.
It's lovely.
Well, I love that.
So going up, I don't know how we got on that, but it's St. Patty's Day.
Because of Genesis of Tampa. That's how we got on that.
Giving away a trip to Ireland.
Giving away a trip. Well, how do you think we got to that?
Speaking of great Irishmen, the great Pete Mulry's in the show today watching us, partner.
Oh, Coach.
The Hall of Famer from Tampa Catholic says, you guys are great as always. Can't not know what you're doing when you're running a club. Sorry.
You know what's great about Pete? Not only was it an incredible, legendary coach, but what a community guy he is.
Yeah, he is.
And even after his coaching career, he's been still coaching, mentoring, but the community work that he does and supporting not only kids, but the education system. I applaud Coach
He's got
Pete.
his golf tournament coming up here in a couple of Mondays, which I will be attending.
Excellent.
So looking forward to that. Yeah, it's doing great stuff.
Whatever you need from me,
Coach.
Pete. Whatever you need from me, buddy.
He don't play golf, but I'll drag his ass along.
But I'll go and talk. I'll go and say some words. I'll help your post game show of giving out trophies and stuff. I'm good at that.
All right. Let's do some Rays on the field. Let's do some questions here, as we always like to do. I want to do some on the field stuff. I'm kind of getting stadium fatigue. Douglas Batista says, I don't get too excited with spring training stats. Last year's Curtis Mead. Ben Williamson is putting up some big numbers. What are your thoughts on Ben Williamson?
Here's my thoughts on, by the way, that probably has been the most intriguing everyday player so far. Surprise offensively, no surprise defensively. He came in as a stalwart, and remember, this guy, has played shortstop in college, has played mostly third base in this short time in the major leagues. Phenomenally so far, been doing great. Can play second base. He's learning second. By the way, not everybody, you understand. If you were a shortstop, second baseman, predominantly most of your amateur and pro career, moving over to the right side actually is a little more complicated than you think. Okay, so you have to have the footwork, but more than anything, everything from the left side, when you've been conditioned to be a third baseman or shortstop, is going this way. So everything is coming to you, you're going this way. Everything is to your left. When you're a first baseman or a second baseman, more importantly at second base, then you flip over, you got to get good going to your right, because you got to be able to flip the ball to shortstop, for take the ball from a third baseman for a double play and a shortstop. So you have to get your footwork right to be able to be good. That's why the guys like Taylor Walls and these guys that are very creative, that can play short bend. One of my favorite players in the last 15 years has been Ben Zobrist. Could handle third, short, first, second, right field, left field. So this kid looks to be really, really talented defensively. Offensively, number one, he's yoked. He came into spring training in incredible shape.
He's added like 30 pounds.
He is strong.
Yeah.
Offensively, one of the things that is being noticed already is his velocity off the bat. So he's already raised his velocity.
2 420-foot home runs.
Yeah, but his velo now is at around 103 coming off the bat when he makes contact positive. So, you're talking that he's raised it by, 20-30%. So, and he's pulling the ball better in spring training. So he was never really a good pull hitter with getting the ball up in the air. So small sampling, but very interesting player. Here's the catch. A guy is playing today, already started. We'll see if you want to look up how the Rays are doing.
I got it right here.
Richie Palacios is kind of being in putting himself in a very difficult position because he started out spring training, got hurt. I believe it was his back. He's missed a couple of weeks. Hasn't gotten many ups. 133 is it? Yeah, hasn't done much. And Richie Palacios came into this camp pretty much the super utility guy. Second, short, pop him at third, left, right. Not so much a center fielder, but you could throw him out there too. But this is going to be a delicate situation for Richie Palacios. He needs to start, turning and burning because Williamson right now is ahead of him. So that could be an interesting thing. And by the way, another catch to this thing, Ben Williamson is a right-handed hitter. Richie Palacios only hits left-handed. So we need righties. You need more righty. We need righties with power. You need righty with a little bit of pop and a little bit of thump, and that can drive in some runs. Where Richie has them, ultra speed. I mean, Richie's basically, that next level down of what Chandler Simpson is. If Chandler Simpson was moving all around the infield, which he's not he's not asked to do, but he could conceivably do later on in his career. But he's a left-handed speedster that is not as good a hitter as Chandler Simpson and doesn't have the pop that Ben Williamson has. So where does Richie Palacios fall in? He's playing today. He's probably going to get a lot more playing time because it's been all going to Ben Williamson with him being laid up. So all of a sudden, that's a great question and a great comment because I think Ben Williams is playing himself into this super utility role very, very nicely. And we'll see if Richie Palacios falls out. Maybe, Carson Williams slides in and has an opportunity if you're going to give him enough ups and not sit him as a 23-year-old at the end of the dugout, hardly getting 3 at-bats a week. I don't do that to him. But if he's going to get some at-bats, then all of a sudden, maybe you're DFAing Richie Palacios, dare I say, and keeping these 2 other younger guys. So,
well, I think we also have to look at long-term vision here.
Correct.
Williamson is 25.
Yeah.
Palacios is 28. We kind of know what he is.
Yeah.
Ben, we don't know what he is. He could really blossom into something. Last year, he had 277 at-bats in the big leagues, and that's before he kind of added this weight. And he hit 253.
Yeah.
Just okay. 1 home run, 21 RBIs, and 277 at-bats, 5 stolen bases. So not bad, especially
not bad.
His first real
out of this world
season of Major League Baseball. That's pretty damn good. I've seen other people struggle, but he's kind of remade himself.
Yes.
And that's
the defense is above par.
Yeah, and he's younger. So if you're, if you are kind of, and I think this team is kind of building towards the 29ers.
Correct.
He's a 29er.
Yeah.
And if long term, if you can have a shortstop second base combination of Carson Williams and Ben Williams' son,
listen,
you're talking about 2 right-handed hitters with pop who play really good defense.
Yeah.
That's something that's a thing.
Yeah, that's a thing. And I'm still very, positive and high on Gavin Lux, who's a veteran,
right?
Very, very good defensive second baseman with a little bit of pop. So he's had a slower, run out of the gate because of injuries, but it's totally different than a Richie Palacios,
right?
Who has never, put together the seasons that Gavin Lux had, being in postseason play, being already a young veteran of the Major League War. So,
and a higher drafted player.
Yeah.
It was one time the Dodgers' #1 prospect.
All of that.
Yeah.
No, he's a standout player. So we want Gavin Lux to be healthy and do his thing. But
we got options.
Yes, we do have options.
That's good.
But I really like this kid Williamson and what he's come into spring, because you got to come into spring when you're in that position. Here's what happens, man. You got to come into spring so prepared mentally and physically, and then stay healthy and stay focused. And what happens is that maybe somebody else gets injured. And here's Richie Palacio missing a couple of weeks. Here's the WBC where, Junior Caminero is playing for Team Dominican Republic. We need you to play third a lot now.
Yeah.
Richie Palacio is not, you're not splitting time over there. You're playing a whole heck of a lot, and you got yourself a lot of it.
Yeah, today Richie's playing third and Ben's playing second.
Yeah, because Richie's got to get out there and start polling is what he got to do.
Well, Palacio, he must be listening to the show because he got a hit.
Oh, dude, he's not listening to a show. He's listening to his agent and go, Richie, get going, because
he doubled.
Yeah,
he doubled, and then Simpson sacrifice bunt.
I love it.
Like that.
I love it. So no, Richie's not messing around, and he can't. He has no room to mess around. He doesn't not have the tenure when you look at Richie's career. Oh, by the way, Richie was injured pretty much most of, if not all of last year. So he's coming off an injury-riddled season. He's in that kind of delicate position where Ben Williamson is smelling it and going, I got a chance here. Another guy that's talking about mixing the Rays with the WBC, and obviously we're seeing, Jack's doing a great job for Team America, Team USA, Clevenger. Obviously, Aranda, unfortunately, will be coming back to the fold because Mexico got ousted. Great job by Jonathan and what he did for his home country team. But with Junior Caminero over there with Team Dominican Republic, another guy that's interesting is Yoendris Gomez, who is a guy that we picked up in a trade. Very exciting right-handed pitcher, tall, only 26 years old. He's out of options. And he opted to probably had a really long talk with his agent and with the Rays. And after pitching in that first round of pool play for Team Venezuela that moved on, he's coming back. He's coming back to vie for that role. And again, this kind of ties into what? Richie Palacio is injured. Here comes Ben Williamson as a chance. Edwin Uceda is still injured. He's probably not going to start the season, on the cold road trip that they're starting in, right? He'll be supposedly, thankfully, because you know how high I am on Uceda, he's going to be fine as we get into the season, into the, bring him back into the warmer weather, maybe as soon as April 6th when they open up here against the Cubs. But that probably his agent for Gomez said, get your butt back to the Rays,
right?
Because you have a chance to break with this team, or they're gonna send you down, but you're out of options, so they're gonna have to waive you, right? They're gonna have to do. So you need to show your wares and start pitching in spring training these last 10 days.
Very interesting read on that. Yeah.
Very, very talented arm that hasn't really, shown it at the major league level dramatically, but there's a lot of upside with this tall and lanky kid.
By the way, Johnny DeLuca singled on a fly ball to right field, and Richie Palacios and Cedric Mullins scored from first.
Nice.
So he must have lost that in the sun or something. Mullins scored from first on a single, a fly ball single.
That's weird.
But whatever. The Rays are up 2-0.
Johnny is super fat. So if it was anything to the left or the right of the right fielder, Johnny would be on second. He's having himself a strong spring. He's one that's like solidifying. I was injured most of last year. I need to be that right-handed bat against tough lefties when you don't want to start either of the three outfielders, that being all lefties, and Fraley, namely Fraley, who really struggles against lefties more than Chandler Simpson for sure. And Cedric Mullins needs to be my everyday center fielder day in and day out, and hopefully play 145 games. Speaking of Cedric Mullins, so this morning I go and there's a little local place that I get my coffee at every morning, and I'm getting my coffee, and I see these two, a couple, right, are there, and they've got Orioles garb on and Orioles hat on. And I go, you guys, going to spring training? We sure are. We're going to spring training. We just got in from Maryland, and we're so excited. We come down every year, and we're heading down to Sarasota to go watch the game. We're staying right up here. I'm living over there by Odessa. And I go, I used to play a little bit. And I tell him who he is. The guy's like, oh my gosh, Orestes Destrade with the Marlins, blah, blah, blah. We start talking about the O's. Number one, I start telling him, I go, you don't understand. I'm a huge Baltimore Orioles fan. They weren't my favorite team as a kid, but I loved them because I go, where did they have spring training for like 35 years?
Yeah.
Bobby Maduro Stadium in Miami. I used to skip
Miami
school.
Baseball Stadium.
I said that right around this time in March, I used to skip school with my best friend and we go try to catch a spring training game at Bobby
first
Maduro
spring
Stadium.
training game was there.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
And so
I also saw Molly Hatchet there.
Oh, that's at Bobby Maduro Stadium.
Miami Baseball Stadium.
Yeah.
That's the same one.
Yeah,
right?
it's the same one.
Right off of 95.
They at the time it was Miami Baseball.
Yeah,
then they renamed it Bobby Maduro. But same one, historic. And we're talking O's, and he goes back at the yesteryear, John Lowenstein and Benny Ayala, and obviously Ripken Jr. And we start talking, and I go, yeah, I've been a broadcaster for the Rays for a lot of years. And he goes, oh, you got one of our favorite players on and off the field, because he did a lot of community.
Yeah.
Cedric Mullins.
Yeah.
And I go, tell me more. And he goes, we just love these guys are diehard O's fans.
You love baseball people.
These are baseball people that also have gotten into the personalities of their players. It's just not the numbers.
Yeah.
Right. So he started telling me, I'm going to tell you guys have not only, I think, he's good. The guy starts telling me, hopefully you're going to have the Baltimore Orioles version of Cedric Mullins, not last year's Mets version. And let me tell you, he's always in the community and such a great human being. We think the world of Cedric Mullins. Bro, it warmed my heart.
Cool.
It warmed my heart to hear that from these fans.
Well, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning, is what baseball teams mean to organization. I mean, to the communities.
So true.
And as I've said many times, we have really not gotten the best of baseball here, because remember, what was the first question that was asked at the public forum the other night? From the girl,
from
young girl who said,
are
the players going to be more accessible
in the community?
And Ken's answer was, we just brought the entire 40-man roster to FanFest.
Yeah.
So yes, they are.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that really is going to be cool, is having these guys out in the community more, which they love to do,
and even at the ballpark too.
At the ballpark,
be more available, sign autographs.
Yeah, this ownership group is going to take that very seriously, and then they're not going to trade your favorite player. Hopefully they're not going to trade your favorite players because they can't afford it. That's what this is all about.
Yeah.
That's
that
the
last
plan.
comment is the key. Don't trade your favorite players because they can't afford it.
Right.
There's trades that happen, all the time. That's baseball. In the winter, in July, when you need an arm, you need a particular left-handed, right-handed bat in order to fortify your team, or if you're having a horrendous year, makes a lot of sense, right? But not because you can't afford them. And the Rays notoriously have made so many moves. My biggest issue with the Rays over the last 15 years has been this one major thing. And this is a huge issue. And that is, I'm big about sports and education and kids, right? You know that about me.
Yeah.
The fact that you don't have kids wearing the jerseys of players regularly around town all the time. They have jerseys, and then some of them still say Zobrist or Shields or Pena or Longoria, but those are the yesteryear. But when you don't,
or Harper,
right?
Or some other team,
exactly. But you don't, they're wearing shirts of other teams. But I'm saying until we're able to build that nucleus for 6 or 7 years,
that's when it gets good.
It gets good,
yeah.
Because now you're wearing, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I can buy that jersey, and 2 years from now,
you go to the park.
He's not gone.
There's your favorite player.
When you're 10 years old and you got so excited about Willie Adames, and you're like, oh, that's my guy. Well, I'm going to buy an Adames shirt. And 2 years later, Willie Adames is in Milwaukee.
And it wasn't like, oh, maybe they'll keep him. No,
gone.
They're all leaving.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to pay him. We could have afforded him.
I struggle with that because I want to see that, that as part of the legacy that I always talk about, this whole thing being a legacy play.
Yeah.
It's about the creation of.
And these are the stories, frankly, that people don't they're not aware of.
Right.
That's why we're trying to educate the public of what this group is trying to do. So many people just think this is the same old. Some people think it's the same owner. Like there's such a lack of education on this.
A brand new
subject.
transparency.
That's why we're doing what we're doing.
You go back to the Bucks. I want to mention is that's one thing the Bucks overall have notoriously done well, because they have kept certain players. That's why their Ring of Honor.
Football's different.
But football is different. You're absolutely right. But the Ring of Honor is so special, and they have so many.
Yeah.
You can only have a Ring of Honor with a big Ring of Honor if you've had players that have played for that team for 7, 8, 10 years.
They've never really tapped into their alumni and their history like they should. They don't have an old timers game.
No.
I know we're a young franchise, but we don't really tap into our history like we should. And I think this new group is definitely going to do that. We've talked about that.
It's exciting.
Hey, by the way, Drew Rasmussen on the hill today, going into his third inning, 2 2/3, giving up 3 hits, 1 run, 2 Ks, 2 walks. He's pitched really well this spring. He's going to be the opening day starter. So, he is. What are we? 2 2/3. He'll probably be coming out of the game now. 44 pitches.
No, I think he's gonna stay a little longer.
Think?
Yeah.
Probably
how many pitches?
49. 44.
Oh yeah.
44.
He's staying another inning.
We're starting to stretch him out, right?
You got to stretch him out. He's definitely if he's giving up just 4 hits, couple of walks. Yeah,
he's getting a little trouble here in the third. So we have a mound visit.
It depends how he gets out of this inning. If his pitch count goes up into the 50s, he's done. But I would see him if he can get out of this inning, and where they got 2 outs.
Mm-hmm.
Then he's coming back out. You got to start stretching him out a little more. There's guys like what's the kid from the Yanks, Warren? He just threw 6 innings the other day. So he's starting to get stretched out. You got to start stretching guys out a little bit more. But offensively, couple hits. You mentioned it. DeLuca had the RBI, 2 RBI hit single.
Mm-hmm.
And our boy Richie Palacios.
Yeah.
Who else is in there that I want to keep an eye on? Let's see.
The lineup today was Yandy, 0-for-2, Mullins, DeLuca, Fiducia's hitting in the cleanup spot.
How about he's hitting 5th. No, he's hitting cleanup. You're right. The lefty, he's hitting the cleanup.
And DeLuca had the 2-run, I think, pop fly single.
Yeah. 3-4-5 is not exactly
not what we're
murderer's row with DeLuca, Fiducia, and Wells.
Not exactly the 27 Yankees there. For
my
sure.
Boy Ryan Belade is 0-for-1. He's been showing up really nicely.
Simpson had a sacrifice bunt. Been working on his bunt.
Yeah, you love that.
That's
you
good.
Love that. That's awesome.
All right. So we're gonna add a new little ditty here each week. We're gonna call it each show Story Time with Big O.
Yeah, you got
because you are one of the great.
By the way, he threw this on me. He threw this on me because he loves how I tell stories. So I'm gonna run with it.
Baseball. We had an event this week, Sports Club at Tampa Bay, where we brought in some of the old heads. Lance McCullers Sr. Who pitched here locally for Tampa Catholic, all Tampa Catholic. Nandi Contreras
back in the day.
Chuck Hernandez, longtime pitching coaches in the major leagues.
Yeah.
John Tamargo, Hall of Famer, local here at Sports Club Hall of Famer, and Brett Phillips. We had the young guy in there.
Yeah.
And they're all telling great stories. And I'm like, you tell great stories.
No, but
fantastic stories.
The beauty of baseball is that it's filled with stories. Not that all other sports don't have stories, on and off the field. But I think because of the fact that you spend so much time together and you play there's no other sport that you play so many games. Look, we're here, talking about spring training. And so you have all this time, day in and day out, from mid-February into March. The season starts. I mean, you're with your boys. I'm not saying that football doesn't have stories and doesn't have practice, but it's a little
baseball
different.
is a different deal.
Those
guys were spinning yarns, and it's just
it's phenomenal because along with spending so much time comes the magnitude of situations.
Well, and you guys are sitting in bars telling stories all the time.
So. All the time. We're just sitting there going, hey, what did you do here? What did you do there? So
if you ever get a chance, O's not a drinker, but some of my old friends and just old baseball stories, it's probably all right. So what do we got today on Story Time with Big O?
Well, since I've got a ball in my hand, I'm reminded of And Shohei Ohtani just pitched, right? And he threw 4 beautiful innings, simulated game. And we were watching. If you get a chance, you can go to MLB.com and you can watch that simulated game and some of the pitches. And as we're watching the pitches, not only is everything moving, right? So he's throwing the 2-seamer running this way. He's throwing the 4-seamer, throws a yellow hammer. And what we call a yellow hammer is that big 12-6 curveball. But he also threw a split. And my boy here, JP, happened to ask, was that a split? And I go, yeah, that's a split, because his split is thrown like this, right? It's just a quick split between the seams, and usually it darts from a righty, it darts down and in. You can pressure it, go down and away. But the true nasty pitch of baseball, very hard to master, is called the fork ball. So the fork ball is totally different than the split, and it's thrown way more deeper. You have to be able to get comfortable in this. The Japanese kids, I've always said, are born with their 2 fingers separated at birth.
Well, they walk around with baseball like that.
Yeah, it's crazy, but they can handle the fork ball better than anybody. And the fork ball tumbles. It just literally, boom, tumbles. It almost knuckles. So it comes out hard like a fastball. Yeah. You can see it tumbling, and then it drops. So back in the day, one of the best pitchers that I ever faced, along with the Randy Johnsons and the Maddoxes and you name it, Brett Saberhagen is in my upper class of great pitchers. Doc Gooden is a guy by the name Hideo Nomo. And I had battles with Hideo Nomo back in the early 90s before he came to the Dodgers. Just incredible. He would, he had 280 strikeouts one year in the league. He was the super stud, right? Dare I say, he comes over, wins Rookie of the Year, threw a no-hitter in the American League, threw a no-hitter in the National League. No doubt, a superstar. Well, we couldn't hit him. That being my stud team called the Cebu Lions. And we had like 4 games in a row that he pitched against us, and he just dominated us, like 1-hitter, 3-hitter, shutout. And we were getting frustrated. My hitting coach, Coach Hirano, and I were really, really tight. And his English was pretty good, even though I had an interpreter. So, and we used to study all the time, watch the videos of all the pitchers. And we were like scratching our heads with Nomo. And we were on the road. They played in Osaka in a stadium that was reminiscent of like Wrigley Field, older stadium, with a right field, had a short stands and an actual street, just like Sheffield in Wrigley Field. So we're studying him. We knew we were going to face him the next night. We had been studying him ever since, he had come up and was dogging us. And he said, all right, I'm going to look at some video. We looked at the video the day before. I couldn't see anything because we're just trying to find a tip, bro. Anything. Because, by the way, Nomo is fastball at 97, split. His curveball was, you just ruled it out. As in baseball, what you try to do is rule out pitches. If a guy doesn't have a good curveball or slider, even though it's in his arsenal, don't worry about it, because you just worry about the pitches that they can really get you out with. So never worried about his curveball, rarely threw it because he didn't want to hang one on me because I take him deep. So all of a sudden, he's looking, and it's like midnight before the next day that we're facing Nomo. And I get a call in my room, and Coach Hirano says, Ore, because they call me Ore over there, not Orestes. They go, Ore, come over to the room right now. Come here. I'm like, okay, man. So I run over to his room, and he's watching the video, and he goes, he always had a pad, that he kept all his notes on. He'd be like, and he would hit it when he would have people discover something. I got it. I figured him out. Watch the video. So Hideo Nomo, if you're ever a fan of, you want to look him up, he was known as the Tornado. Yeah. So the reason he was called the Tornado is because he would go up, raise his hand really high, he'd be up here, then he'd come all the way around, and he literally would give you his back, almost like Louis Tiant. Yeah. Really complicated, mess up your timing on top of the fact that he threw 97 with the best forkball I've ever seen. Well, we had trouble boxing him up. You want to box up a pitcher. So with all that craziness, it was not hard to box up. He goes, don't try to box him up here. Concentrate on his ass. I go, what, Coach Hirano? Just look at his ass. The reason that he said to look at his ass is when he would come all the way around behind his butt, he noticed that when he was set up a forkball, you could set up a split, and I could be here, and here's my glove, and you can't notice anything. And now all of a sudden, I've got a 2-seamer. All of a sudden, I've got a split. I've got a 2-seamer. I got a 4-seamer. Your glove is not usually doesn't mess. When you throw a split finger, a true forkball, you got to dig into it. So what happens is that his fastball, he was here around the back, but when he threw the fork, you could see the palm of his glove of his hand. So he goes, just concentrate on the back of his butt. And if you see that he comes around here, it's a fastball. If you see the palm of it, it's a forkball, don't swing, because he never's going to throw you a forkball for a strike because he's afraid of me. Bro, that day, my first at bat, I'm just standing out there and I'm looking at his butt. I feel a little bit nervous. I feel a little bit, dare I say, queer eye for the soul. But I go, all right, I'm looking. He's doing the whole helicopter tornado thing. And the first pitch, there it is. And I just, as we call in baseball, I spit on it. I just basically took it very calmly. He even got the ball back from his catcher. And he kind of looked at me like, okay, he must just be taking the first pitch.
Lucky.
He's just taking the first pitch. Yeah. He was doing that thing. The second pitch, he does it again as he's coming around. And I just spit on it again. And he's like, huh. That's weird. He's just like comfortably taking my dramatic fall. By the way, ball 1, ball 2.
Yeah.
The next pitch, he's here, throws me a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and I hit him completely out of that stadium. And I stood at home plate, and I was famous for doing this pose thing when I hit a home run. And I looked at him and I go, I got you, MFer. And I go, I got you. And he's like looking at me, and he does the Japanese head tilt, like, what just happened here? Yeah. And our whole team knew it by then, and then we just started raking him. The moral of the story is this. That year, this was 92, the USA send an all-star team. So every even year, they would send a Mac Daddy all-star team. And that year, one of the players, a friend of mine, Carlos Baerga from the Cleveland Indians, was on that all-star team. We won the championship again. That was my third year. Seibu, the Lions. We win the Japan series in October Classic at the end of October. I stuck around to do TV shows and make money being, a champion hero. And I caught the first game or so of that series because it started literally in like November 7th. And I see Carlos Baerga in the hotel because I'm actually staying in the same hotel as he is in Tokyo.
You told him?
No, baby. He comes up to me, hey, what's the deal with this guy Nomo? I'm hearing we're facing him like, in a couple of days. And the guy's supposed to be a stud. Give me a tip. And I stopped for a second and I said, I ain't giving him a tip, man. Yeah. I had to struggle with it. You're going to have to figure it out. I didn't tell him that. I go, no, yo no sé, man.
That's hitter's code, right? Once you figure it out, don't tell anybody.
No, if it's on my team, I would tell him. Yeah. But I didn't want that. The only reason the code I did, like that code was a Japan protection code. I'm like, you guys always talking about that Japan's not that good because there was no MLB at that point. Nobody had transferred over to
So you wanted Nomo to embarrass those guys.
I wanted him to embarrass. He did. He goes to the major leagues in 95. And I did an interview about him and on Fox, and I said, they asked me about it. I go, listen, he's going to deal for the first couple of years, and then might figure him out after that. And that was what I was referencing to, is that they'll, MLB hitters and their coaches are just as good as myself and Coach Arano, the hitting coach, and they did. Nomo got figured out a couple of years later, and he got knocked around, but. That was my Hideo Nomo forkball.
That's awesome, man. Story time with O.
I used to tell him, fork me. No, fork you.
Absolutely. Ben Williamson just singled on a line drive to left. So he's 1 for 2 today.
Dude, that's gonna be
Will
a
he
race.
make the squad?
I'm telling you.
We shall see.
It's gonna be very interesting.
All right, big thanks to Texas Roadhouse, Wesley Chapel. Go get you a great steak dinner up there. Tell them Big O sent you. KingmakersTampa.com is the website if you want to become a member here. And the Murphy Auto Group, Genesis of Tampa. Wear your green and get green. Get money off.
Swing your shillelagh.
Swing the shillelagh, yes. Yeah, you swing a pretty good shillelagh. All right, brother. Great stuff as always.
Buddy. Watch WBC tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Go Team USA. As far as Korea, Dominican Republic, go Team Dominican Republic. I'd like to see them move on, and this weekend's going to be a lot of fun too. Because
I might be over at Riveters tonight. I got to go pick up my daughter at the airport.
8 o'clock game. 8 o'clock
so
game.
On my way, I might have to stop off and get a hazy IPA and watch a little baseball at the bar.
And then you got Japan, Venezuela, which is going to be a slugfest in its own.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one is, what was the other one? You got
DR.
No, DR is playing tonight.
Italy and USA.
Italy, Puerto Rico.
Italy,
That's tomorrow. Italy, Puerto Rico. So,
big weekend of baseball. Enjoy it all. We will be back on Tuesday with another Big O show.
Yeah. In fact, hopefully I'll be down in Miami then and giving the report prior to championship.
Have you on remotely?
Championship WBC.
Cool stuff.
Fun.
What are we supposed to do?
Tranquilo y tropical.